Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight, the first real live episode of SmackDown Live for the year 2019, kicked off with a bang, and it was a smackdamn good episode of the Blue Brand with two glaring and blatant errors, and we are here to bring the hammer down on it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Live review for the first time in 2019. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me once again here this week for another one of our WWE review shows. And for once, I do not want to rain down terror on WWE. As we have become accustomed to by now, SmackDown Live was a much better show than Monday Night Raw, as it always is, but tonight was a damn good show, like I said in the open, and there is no denying it. When you enjoy a wrestling show, you enjoy a wrestling show. However, that's not what we do here. We are not just here to fluff the egos of the WWE when they do things good, because even though tonight was good, there was a couple of things that happened tonight that just don't really add up to me, and I'm going to prove that to you guys right now. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If the WWE removed the original announcement of Becky Lynch versus Asuka at the Royal Rumble getting a rematch for her championship, the man was slated to go one-on-one, and then they took it away. They canceled it. They said, no, that's not going to happen. And then you have what happened tonight happen. How does that make sense to you? Why did that happen? Just so that they can have this match? So they could give you guys a left turn when you should be going in the straight direction of having both Becky Lynch and Charlotte in the Royal Rumble? This match, when it was originally announced, was very suspect to me, and I never found myself in my life rooting any harder for Carmella than I was tonight. Now, you might think that's absolutely insane, and why would this guy say, oh, he wouldn't want Becky Lynch to win? Why wouldn't you want the man to be in the championship rematch at the Royal Rumble? Because the story is not in the rematch with Asuka. The story they began to tell coming out of the Evolution pay-per-view and leading up into now was Becky Lynch and Charlotte having issues with the Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Now, while that is not the same show, they are trying to get one of these girls to challenge Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Whether it be Charlotte or Becky or both remains to be seen, but the best and most interesting way to do this was to have both of these girls in the Royal Rumble. It would have lent a huge amount of unpredictability, because going right into the end of this thing, you would not know until one or the other was eliminated if Charlotte or Becky was going to win. Everybody else you don't really believe is going to win the Royal Rumble. Maybe an Ember Moon or something like that, but that was the story for the Women's Royal Rumble. This was the year for Becky Lynch. It seems almost like a no-brainer to have her go in there and win, or come out in a non-decisive fashion as one of the final two with Charlotte Flair and extend it later on down the line and build it up until you could have this final showdown where these girls can get their shot and their Royal Rumble victory and move on to challenge Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. That's the story. But now, you're going to have Becky Lynch not in the Royal Rumble. She's most likely going to take the title back from Asuka at the Royal Rumble, because why wouldn't she? It wouldn't make sense for her not to be going into this year's WrestleMania. If she's not coming out of the Royal Rumble as its victor, she should definitely be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion at the very least. But all of that is not where I wanted to see this go. I wanted to see the Becky and Ronda route be forged. I wanted the four horsewoman story to start being told. You could add Charlotte and Sasha and everybody else along the way, and it would be great. And then on the SmackDown Live side, if Asuka remains champion, throughout the Royal Rumble. You could have had maybe Ember Moon. You could have her win the Royal Rumble or earn her spot at the Elimination Chamber to challenge whichever champion she wants, and we can get a rematch of Asuka and Ember Moon at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. These are matches that I would be interested in seeing, but the story they're telling tonight doesn't set things up in that way. And while I am appreciative of that very, very good triple threat match that went down tonight, Carmella definitely showed a lot more worth in her performance tonight. She was a little spotty at times, but you have to give the girl credit for a fantastic performance. Becky Lynch and Charlotte doing what they do best. They went out there, they main evented the show tonight, and they stole the show. It was a great match for these girls at the end, but I don't think the right person won. I think they should have had Carmella win this match, have Becky and Charlotte go on into the Royal Rumble, and away we go. But that's not where we're going. So now Charlotte Flair is most likely going to enter and be your winner of the Royal Rumble so that she could forge her path to Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and Becky Lynch will remain the man on SmackDown Live. And while that's not something that I really should be complaining about, it just seems a little bit off, and I think it would have been a lot more epic to have Becky Lynch in this year's Royal Rumble. That's a minor issue that I'm taking with what's going on, where I will be appreciative of the fact that they are giving Becky Lynch the spot that she deserves, and if they do give her the title back at the Royal Rumble, are you going to be mad at it? I'm not. I don't really think they had any plans to keeping it on Asuka for a long term anyway, and it was just a way to keep things interesting and make things a little bit unpredictable, but I'm predicting Becky Lynch is going to end up coming out of the Royal Rumble as the champion. There's no reason for this match to happen if that's not the way that it's going to go. The bigger mistake that was made happened during the number one contenders match, and I'm going to call it that. I don't care what the WWE wants to call it, for the tag team championships. I was a little bit confused as to why the Usos were just automatically named to have this opportunity, to have this chance, and they're going about the route that I hate the most, where you have to beat the champions to earn a chance to win their championships. Not my favorite way to go about determining who's next in line for said championships, but that's where we're at in the WWE, and you just have to accept certain pills, swallow them even though they taste like shit, and then move along to the next drink, and hopefully it washes down nice and smooth. And that's not really what happened here, because while my problem is not with the fact that Mandy Rose came out and got involved, I thought that was actually very entertaining, and it led to something even greater down the line on the show. But my problem is, as soon as Mandy Rose came out, you knew the Usos weren't going to win this match. So now, if not the Usos, who's going to challenge the Bar for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships? And lo and behold, my worst nightmares became reality as The Miz came out and kept going on with this co-besties, co-best in the world, best tag team in the world bullshit that just makes me sick to my stomach. And now we are going to have Shane McMahon and The Miz challenging the Bar for the SmackDown Live Championships. Now, they did the right thing in the onset of this encounter between the champions and The Miz when he made this challenge, where they were like, you guys did nothing to deserve this. You think we're going to defend our titles against you? And I thought that was the way they were going to go and have them have to earn this opportunity. But instead, Sheamus just kicks The Miz's teeth down his throat, and then they accept the challenge, which did nothing for everything that he just said seconds prior. Almost made it seem like he was joking the whole time, and I didn't find it that funny. But this is not where I wanted to see the tag team division be headed, towards a championship reign by The Miz and Shane McMahon. Do you think that's not going to happen, especially now that it's being booked for the Royal Rumble? Why can't this happen next week on SmackDown Live and then be done with it and let the Bar go past this and end this whole co-besties bullshit? I hate it. It is a stain on the tag team division. A tag team division that has been soiled beyond recognition to this point is only being made to look even more foolish by what is going to happen when The Miz and Shane McMahon inevitably beat the one team that has done everything they said in the ring tonight. They've beaten everybody there is to beat on Raw. They've beaten everybody there is to beat on SmackDown, and they are going to be unseated by this ragtag makeshift tag team that's put together for what? Cesaro said it best. A dysfunctional duo with daddy issues. The co-besties. Best tag team in the world, my ass. But that's the direction where we're headed, and they're just still as clueless as ever with the tag team division. Those two things tonight just took me completely out of the enjoyment that I was feeling for the most part of this show. How much did you enjoy the new Daniel Bryan tonight? The way this show kicked off with Daniel Bryan at the concession stand, talking shit to you and me, telling us that we're garbage, that we ingest garbage, using the concession stand as an example. You drink out of plastic straws and plastic cups, and then he's taking hot dogs and he's shoving it in people's faces, getting mustard all over the place. He's knocking sodas out of people's hands. What's with the WWE and the knocking shit out of people's hands this week? We saw Seth Rollins knocking coffee out of hands, and now Daniel Bryan solidifying his shot at the top and his spot at the top, rather, by knocking people's food out all over the place. Very entertaining. The ferocity and the ferociousness that he was getting, and the way he was contorting his face. This is just a level of vileness and viciousness that we've never seen from Daniel Bryan before. You thought Daniel Bryan was crazy pre-Yes Movement Daniel Bryan, when he was with AJ Lee being all bonkers and losing matches in 3 seconds and whatnot. This Daniel Bryan is fantastic. And then to have the show kick off not with an ambush by AJ Styles, but with a sneak attack by RTruth. What do I tell you guys almost on a weekly basis? Look at RTruth and tell me that man is not a treasure. The man is fantastic. I don't know exactly how old he is. I know he's up and over in his 40s, and I don't care. The guy wrestles better than at any time I've ever seen him. Look at what he did in the ring tonight with Daniel Bryan. While that match was cut way too short and we spent too much time in the commercial break, the short amount of time that I did get to see this match, it was fantastic. And you look at what a guy like RTruth brings to the ring, and it just makes you think, why in the world has the WWE not utilized RTruth to his maximum potential at all? Even right now, they are not making the best out of what they got in a guy like RTruth. His agility is off the charts. His wrestling skill is on par with a guy like Daniel Bryan. Look at the match we got tonight. On multiple occasions, you actually believe that RTruth might be able to pull this one out, and he was going out there to steal the show. How often do you get to wrestle the WWE champion when you're in RTruth? And he definitely made his presence known. I love RTruth. I've always been a big fan of his. I love his stuff that he does in the back, his crazy shit and his little Jimmy and all that stuff that he's ever done. I've been a big supporter of RTruth, and it's for matches like this, because you could be as stupid and silly as you want, but if you're coming out there and giving me high quality stuff like this, it's just second to none. RTruth deserves better than what he's been given in the world of the WWE. AEW maybe could be calling. A lot of AEW news. We had the press conference tonight. We're not going to get into that because it's the SmackDown Live review. Maybe we'll do a separate video. If you're interested in that, let me know, and I'll cover some of that all elite stuff that went down tonight. Some pretty big things going down, but even bigger things going down on SmackDown Live for once, as that match with RTruth was fantastic. Daniel Bryan obviously would go on to defeat the Truth in a very surprisingly good match. And then as this match would wind down and Daniel Bryan made his way to the top of the entrance ramp, then we would get the ambush by AJ Styles, very similar to what we saw in the opening of Monday Night Raw last night between Trashley and Rollins, only done a whole lot better, shot a lot better so that it was made to feel more personal and that you were right in there, not that we were watching some stupid 80s cop film. It was very well produced. It was very intense. And you can attribute that to AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan just doing what they do best. AJ Styles looked like a beast tonight, trying to do everything he could to get at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan escaping by the skin of his teeth. And then we would just have the next match begin. No bullshit segment, nobody coming out to talk. We just went from action to more action as we were treated to a fantastic tag team matchup featuring some of my favorite people on the roster. Andrade Cien Almas teams up with the Samoan submission machine Samoa Joe to go 1-on-1, well, 2-on-2 rather, with Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali. What a great mega match this is. My only thing that I want to say about matches like this is the only thing that I don't like is the fact that this match can happen and make even a great tag team match later in the night not feel like it's as good as what these four guys went out there and did. These are not two well-established tag teams. This is two pairings of four singles individuals that went out there and out-tag teamed the tag team division. This was a goddamn good match. And all of these guys proved everything I tell you guys about them on a weekly basis, with the exception of Rey Mysterio, who is a legend. He's going to go out there and shine when you put him out there with a Samoa Joe and an Andrade Cien Almas, and you give him a tag team partner like Mustafa Ali. You are going to get some magic moments, and that's exactly what we got tonight. This tag team match was off the charts. We saw all kinds of incredible action. My favorite maneuver in the world was pulled off in this match by Rey Mysterio, as he had Andrade Cien Almas draped over his back and then somehow flipped him over and into a Canadian destroyer, which has to be seen to be believed. A lot of beautiful moments like that in this matchup. Samoa Joe had Mustafa Ali on the outside of the ring and gave him a flipping suplex over his body right into the announce table, clearing house. They didn't break the announce table, but he's throwing this guy around like he's a trash bag, and it was so much fun to watch this matchup. I hate the commercial breaks, as always, and it just kind of takes you out of it, but you guys know that if you watched it live. But what a great tag team matchup, and to make it even sweeter, Andrade Cien Almas and Samoa Joe came out with the win here, as Almas hits that devastating hammerlock DDT on Rey Mysterio and pins the Lucha legend 1, 2, 3 in the ring, much to the delight of Zelina Vega and his tag team partner Samoa Joe, walking away with a much needed win, putting a highlight on El Idolo for the first time in a long time. And what have I been telling you guys in the last few weeks? If you're new to the channel, I'm almost like a soothsayer in the world of professional wrestling when I tell you guys Andrade Cien Almas versus Rey Mysterio is a feud that needs to happen. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and that is proven in this tag team match tonight. We've seen them go one-on-one before, and we knew it was great, but now that this has happened, can you imagine how far these guys can go and what they can do if they're given a proper amount of time at a show like a WrestleMania? Fantastic. I loved this tag team matchup. It was absolutely great. We had Carmella talking in the back about her odds in the main event. She says nobody thinks that she has the capabilities to win this matchup. Nobody's pulling for her, and I tell you, you're wrong, because I was pulling for you, honey. I wanted Carmella to win this match more than anything. But we'll get to more of that later. Just want to let you know, I was behind you in this instance, honey. It doesn't happen very often, but it happened tonight. Didn't do you much good, though, to have me in your corner, did it? Let's not talk too much about that, as I'm trying to be a manager over here. We also were backstage for the Usos, coming out talking trash about their upcoming match with The Bar, guaranteeing that they are going to get the win tonight and earn that future championship possibility. And then we cut to The Miz, which should have been the writing on the wall for me. I didn't know what was going down when the Usos lost, and I'm sitting there like, well, who's going to challenge for the tag team titles? And they gave me the answer earlier in the night, but I was too stupid or blinded by how much greatness I just saw that I did not see the writing on the wall in front of me. As The Miz came into Shane McMahon's office, he was all upset about the Usos getting this opportunity. He thinks they should be the champions, and wow, we're doing this for my dad, and blah, blah, blah. Best in the blah. I could care less. I don't care. They turned The Miz from one of the best heels in the business to a whining, pathetic joke of a character who wants the approval of Shane McMahon, who wants to be best buddies with Shane McMahon. Who cares? I don't. Puts a damper on everything for me every time they're on the screen. I did have my feelings uplifted because it was Rusev Day once again, as the United States champion Rusev came out, but he was kind of weird tonight. A little bit somber. He said he's not coming out there as the regular Rusev. he's coming out there tonight as a husband, and Nakamura is the reason why Lana is hurt and Lana is not with him tonight, and now he guarantees he's going to break every bone in Nakamura's body. All Nakamura's got to do is come out there and take this ass whooping. And I was into it. It was okay. But then you got Nakamura hanging out in the TV truck for some reason. What the fuck he's doing back there? I don't know. Maybe he's begging Kevin Dunn to please get him out of this company so that he can go play with his friends in AEW. Or maybe he wants to go back to New Japan. I don't know what his intentions are for the future, but what other reason would he have for being in the TV production truck? Stupidity. Just little things I want to point out to you guys. And he wants to say, oh, it's not his fault Lana got hurt. It's actually Rusev's fault. He shouldn't have his wife out there. He's the one that kicked him and knocked her down and blah, blah, blah. I could care less. He pissed off Rusev. Rusev hulked up and then went running out into the back trying to find him in the TV truck, only to be attacked by Nakamura in the back before he would get there. Nakamura pretty much beat him down pretty bad. Rusev struggled to get up, and then he got hit with a Kinshasa in the backstage area. Shinsuke Nakamura trying to firmly plant his rematch clause in play by beating the snot out of the champion once again. Entertaining, but once again I want to bring to your attention that this is what, in the last two shows, this is what, about the fourth or fifth backstage beatdown we've seen in the last couple of shows, hitting the well a little bit hard right now, and the well's going to run dry pretty quickly. Well, I appreciate action all over the world, or all over the arena rather, anywhere in the world. You got to make those moments special, or they just start to always feel like the same old shit. Coming off of a Falls Count Anywhere match, and then you want to have all this backstage stuff going on. Plus, you had all of Monday Night Raw kick off with a backstage brawl. And last week, we had backstage brawls. But you know who didn't brawl? Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar didn't brawl. The only people you probably wanted to see brawl. One of the reasons why Raw Review was so vicious last night. If you missed that, go make sure you check it out. It'll be linked in the annotations up above. But the road ahead for Rusev is pretty clear, and it is going to still include Shinsuke Nakamura, and hopefully he remains on top, and we continue to celebrate Rusev Day every day as he remains our United States champion. Now we get to hear from Becky Lynch backstage as she wants to talk about her chances of getting this championship rematch herself, and that she promised she's going to win the main event tonight and she's going to win her title back. And for the first time in a long time, I'm like, please don't win this match because I want to see you go on and win the Royal Rumble. But we all know that that's not the case. We had a recap of Hulk Hogan's tribute to Mean Gene, and then they re-showed that very emotional package for Mean Gene Okerlund as he's passed away this week. If you haven't heard by now, I don't know where the hell you've been, but it's been all over the place, and they talked about it on Raw last night. They continue to talk about it tonight, and once again, even though I've seen it already, I struggled my way through it, and I teared up, and I get all emotional seeing my whole entire life flash before my eyes as this man is being celebrated, and I just hope that he when we did speak that one time, I hope he understood just how special the guy really was to me. This was a tough loss to take, and we had to revisit it again. I won't be surprised if we might even revisit it again next week, because Mean Gene was just that special, and it'll be just as hard to watch every single time. I'll tell you what, Mean Gene would have been proud of this tag team match that we had for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar, taking on the Usos in a non-title matchup to determine whether or not the Usos can have a shot at their tag team championships. We talked a little bit about this already, but this match was fantastic. This was a hot match. They really, really got the crowd into it. Jimmy Uso on the outside of the ring, anticipating that final hot tag that would never come. I think the crowd was actually at a fever pitch that I haven't seen a crowd at in a long time. The crowd was very pro of the Usos tonight, and they wanted to see them win this match. I wanted to see them win this match in this moment. It was built very well. The match had a great pace, and these guys really left it all out there tonight. And then to have it soiled, in a sense, by Mandy Rose coming out there. Not because, like I said, she came out there, but because now we know they weren't going to win. Mandy Rose came out wearing only a towel, and insinuating that she probably left the garments that are supposedly not under said towel in Jimmy Uso's hotel room last night and wonders whether or not he has seen her garments, her pretty little gold shorts and her pretty little gold top, whatever it is she had to say. I thought this was a little overacted, and I thought it took a little bit long. She should have just came out and got it over with and said it, but it just seemed to drag a little bit longer than it should have for something that was supposed to only be 2 or 3 lines. It took up maybe about 2 or 3 more minutes than it should have, and I was not happy that this was going to be the route that they were on. However, what would come after this is what made this moment even more special, because some of you guys might be going, oh, look, they're just doing the Eva Marie sexy thing, or they're going back to the Attitude Era with the half-naked chicks and the insinuations of sex and the innuendos and all that crap. But that's not what's happening here, because if you're watching, and you're watching closely enough, you will know that Mandy Rose is doing nothing more than manipulating Naomi into blowing a gasket every single time she sees her face, and I think that she is doing her job. If that is her intention, she is definitely doing it well, because tonight is a clear indication that Mandy Rose is in the head of Naomi. By doing what she did, she's not actually trying to get in bed with the Usos, either one of them. She's just trying to get in the head of Naomi, and she's doing it very well. I appreciate the effort, and it's coming off very well. And to have Naomi absolutely go bananas in the back, like she went absolutely crazy. When she seen Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, she didn't even care that there was 2 of them. She took them on like she was one of the Avengers, man. She didn't care how many there was. She was going to take them all down herself, and she held her own against both of these ladies. And it was great, until finally the numbers game would be too much for Naomi to overcome. Jimmy Uso would come out of nowhere and bail his wife out of this jam. The girls would back up. I don't think Jimmy Uso was going to hit these girls, but he definitely made it like, yo, you guys need to stop this. What's wrong with you guys? What the hell is going on here? And this is a very interesting thing. We all know that Jimmy is not cheating on Naomi. And that is the one thing they can do to ruin it. If all of a sudden pictures start to surface of Jimmy Uso in bed or at hotels or checking into places with Mandy Rose, then they're going down the wrong route. They need to have this marriage remain true, have this all just be mental manipulation and mind games by a villainous and just absolutely wretched Mandy Rose trying to fuck up somebody's marriage just by playing some games because it probably gets her off. And I think that's the way to go about it. If they start trying to make some truth of this rumor, then this is a whole nother ball of worms that we're going to have to revisit another time. But as of right now, I'm into it, and I thought it was great the way that they are doing this feud for Naomi and Mandy Rose. And I think it's going to be big things for both the girls. I think it really, really will. We then talk to Charlotte Flair in the back. She wants to talk about all the reasons she's going to win tonight. She actually did so in probably one of the better promos I've ever heard her do, albeit as scripted as it was. It was fine, and I once again was saying, please don't. I know you're promising to win this match and take the title back from Asuka, but please don't. Just go in the Royal Rumble where you belong. We'll see what happens with that. We had the new Daniel Bryan show up once again, and he was absolutely furious that AJ Styles jumped him before, and some of the stuff he said was absolutely fantastic, some bone-chilling stuff, and like I said, the contortions in his face and the anger in his eyebrows, and he started to turn red as he promised each and every one of us that the new Daniel Bryan will be champion forever, and AJ Styles will never take this title from him. It was some of the most intense stuff I've ever seen come out of Daniel Bryan's mouth, and it made me love him even more than I've ever been a fan of his before. I am even more so now. It's unbelievable. I don't care about the mustard stains on his shirt. I don't care that he's telling me that I'm nothing but a waste and an impotent fat human being. I don't care that he thinks I'm a drain on the world. I think the man and the character is absolutely brilliant, and I'm loving every bit of it. This interview was no exception. Then they had to bring me down again because we had Shane McMahon and The Miz meeting backstage. The Miz gives some impassioned speech about how they have to challenge themselves and they didn't want to earn a title shot this way and blah, blah, blah. All this shit that I stopped even listening to and I don't give a shit about. Anyway, Shane McMahon decides to give in to The Miz and all his pandering, and he agrees to the match, and now we are going to get the match that nobody wants to see in the tag team division, especially not this guy, and I know most likely you probably don't either. One of the black eyes on SmackDown Live tonight, the announcement of the co-best tag team in the versus the Bar at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Awful. But you got Sanity sitting in the back doing nothing, right? I'd even take the New Day in this instance. And we all know how I feel about that. Was happy enough not to have to see them at all tonight, for once. A break is good for everything. It makes you miss them, and then when they come back, you're like, oh, happy to see the New Day back. Then we had the main event. Becky Lynch defeating Carmella and Charlotte Flair to earn the Royal Rumble title shot against Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. A great match. Even for Carmella, this was a great showing for all three girls. This was a great main event. This was a highlight for the women already in 2019. I can't say enough about the performances of all three girls. They went out there with a toughness and a fieriness in them, and they were willing to fight, and they were throwing into each other. Carmella was slapping the taste out of Charlotte Flair's mouth at one point. Lots of aerial maneuvers. We saw 2 moonsaults by Charlotte Flair tonight, one of which connected to both Becky Lynch and Carmella, the other one which connected to nothing but the cement floor outside the ring, which was brutal to see. We saw figure 8 leg locks be applied and be broken by an incoming Becky Lynch from the top rope with a leg drop to the midsection of Charlotte Flair to break the hold. Great stuff. Great stuff. Even once again, Carmella, she got in her moves. She got in that little leg lock submission. I forget what she calls it. Almost got Charlotte Flair herself to tap out at that occasion. Almost came up with a 3 count by being in the right place at the right time. Charlotte Flair hits Becky Lynch with a spear, only to get kicked in the face by Carmella, and she almost steals the victory there. She pulled that same move multiple times in this matchup, just trying to be the ultimate opportunist and pick up the scraps and win this match by any means necessary. This was a very well told story until Becky Lynch came out with the win. And as we said at the start of the show, I'm not going to complain too much. The man deserves this win. She deserves to get her championship back. But I just think this, of any year in the world, in the history of professional wrestling, if you're a promoter or you're on the creative staff, I think this was the year. Would it have been predictable? Probably. But had you thrown Charlotte Flair in there as well, it would not be as predictable. You could have played off on that whole story and it would have been great. But instead, the man gets a rematch with Asuka, a match that was given to her and then taken away, only to have her earn it back with 3 weeks to go until this year's Royal Rumble. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your SmackDown Live review for January the 8th, 2019. It was a good show. We cannot dispute the fact that we got some great wrestling tonight, and that is the most important thing. Like I said, few black marks here and there, a couple of things I would change, but with the exception of the tag team division, we are on a better path when the path is painted in blue, and I can't wait to see where some of this stuff is going, where on Monday Night Raw, I can't wait for it to just go away. The minute it starts, it cannot end fast enough because they are truly just clueless about everything over there, where SmackDown Live has its few little mistakes here and there. For the most part, as proven tonight, they can put on a great 2-hour show, and that is the truth, because that's how I bring it to you. Just like RTruth, who's my MVP on the night, because the man is just fucking awesome, and I will continue to push for one last run for RTruth with some sort of gold around his waist. The guy deserves it. He's an absolute triumph. He is what professional wrestling is all about. And that's what we're all about. Delivering the truth with the hammer of truth, the hammer of justice, the hammer of reality. My buddy Thor, he's one of the biggest members of the team. Not as big as you guys are, though. You guys are the biggest member of this team. My fans, my Sledgehead family. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys that has subscribed over the holiday season and up until and including last night, where we had a nice little influx of subscribers. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you could join the best crew in all of professional wrestling podcasting, which includes Blue the Snowball Microphone, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show and the Wrestling God of Thunder, and me, I am your host with the most, Mr. Nick Nightmare, your master of ceremonies when the time comes to bring the hammer down on the world of professional wrestling. Thank you guys all once again for being a part of this family with me, making 2018 one of the most special years on this channel thus far, and let's make 2019 the year of the hammer and have Sledgehammer TV take its rightful place among the upper echelons in all the professional wrestling podcasts, and it starts with a super fan just like you. And all you got to do is hit that subscribe button right now, smash that thumbs up so that everybody knows that Sledgehammer TV is the place to be when they want their wrestling news absolutely bullshit free. You can take that message and spread that all across the land, and then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over this crazy wrestling world, especially if they had a blast watching SmackDown Live tonight and maybe they agree with me on the fact that maybe Becky Lynch wasn't the right choice to win this match, and maybe Carmella, for once, should have been given a win in this situation. Let me know if you think I'm nuts or if you think I'm dead on in that comment section down below. Drop those comments in there. Leave your questions, leave your remarks about tonight's SmackDown Live. I love looking forward to seeing every single one of you guys in that comment section. You know who you are, and I get back at you as soon as I can every single week. I try to be as active as I can, so make sure you're down there. If you're checking us out, we are on the audio platforms. You can check us out on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher Radio. All of the links are in the description down below. If you're having any trouble with any of that, get back at me. I know some of you guys had some issues with the audio shows. I've been working on it all weekend long. Hopefully we got everything back up to speed. I leave it to you guys to let me know how all that stuff is working out. That, my friends, is going to do it for tonight. If you missed the Raw review, it'll be linked in the annotations up above. Also, the subscription box showdown went up a little bit late, but it is up there for you guys. If you missed the best unboxing show on the planet for the month of December, it will be there for you as well to view at your leisure for your viewing pleasure. Thank you all so very much. One final piece of business, as always, this show has been brought to you by Audible. Audible have the books that speak to you, over 180,000 titles for you to peruse and choose a free audiobook when you sign up for a 30-day free trial by using our exclusive link, audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. Sign up today. Pick your free book, cancel before the 30 days is up if you like, and you can still keep that book to listen to in your ears for the rest of your life. That is a good deal if you ask me. One free book for doing absolutely nothing but doing a couple of clicks on your little computer or on your phone or on however you're watching me. It's worth it for you, and it's a great way to support this channel and show your love for me. So check it out right now. Go use audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now for your free audiobook and 30-day free trial. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an interesting week. I will be here with you guys throughout the week, as Saturday is also the NXT UK first ever takeover event, which we will be covering on this channel. So we will see you this weekend, and we got a few little surprises coming for you guys down the line. I'm not going to ruin anything, but just keep your eyes open and make sure you are subscribed and notified so you don't miss any of some of the special things we got coming at you, as we're looking to kick off 2019 in a big way right here on your new favorite wrestling channel, Sledgehammer TV. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, right here on Sledgehammer Hammer TV.